so what we're going to be talking about today is something that's very near and dear to my heart, and something that I'm very passionate about personally, and a lot of our students are as well. We're going to be talking about the 3 secrets to algorithmic trading, or in other words, how to make money trading without making expensive and emotional mistakes. This is a huge problem that a lot of people have when they trade. You're trading based off emotion. You're trading based off of I think this and that. We're going to show you a way to do this in a much more mechanical, much more predictable fashion. All right. So are you guys ready to get started? Who here is ready to get started?
Yes.
Awesome. Let's do it. Okay, cool. All right. So some key points before we get started. So first of all, if you've ever lost money trading in the past, it's probably not your fault, right? Most likely you're trading on emotion, and you didn't have any data to back you up, right? A lot of people, when they get into trading, they kind of just listen to YouTube videos and kind of just go with the flow. If you're not using data, if you're trading off emotion, it's going to be a lot harder to make money. Number 2, if you've ever been concerned in the past that you can't succeed with trading, I want to put those fears to rest. You can definitely do this. You just need the right person to teach you. Okay. Number 3, the big hedge funds, they want you to think that you need a PhD to make your own algorithms. That is absolutely not true. They have their own reasons for saying this sort of thing, because obviously they don't want competition or all that. But you definitely do not need a PhD to make algorithms. I've seen people with no degree make algorithms. It has gotten especially a lot easier lately with the advent of AI. You definitely do not need a PhD to do this stuff. Absolutely not. Number 4, if you ever thought that the banks want you to fail, well, you're probably right. The banks actually, they don't profit from your success. They profit from keeping your money under their control, right? So it's really not in their best interest to put you into some sort of investment vehicle that's going to make you rich as hell. Their main thing is to make sure that you're in something very safe, and they keep your money and they hold on to it and they lend it out to other people and that sort of thing. So if you're thinking that the banks are not on your side, you're probably right about that. Right. Number 5, I know that you have a dream to make a lot of money and make a big impact. Well, I want to show you how to do that during this webinar. I'm going to show you a few ways to do that. I'm going to walk you through a couple of our secrets and a few of our programs and things that you guys can get started with. Right. Okay, so let's start off with who this is for, right? So it's really for 2 different types of people, this presentation and our programs in general. It's number 1 for traders and investors who have never programmed before. You'll get a clear path on how to learn coding. And how to very quickly start applying this to your trading. We have lots of code they can copy and paste. We show you how to use AI to do a lot of this stuff. So you really don't have to be an expert coder to get into this stuff and to start building your own algorithms. We already have a lot of pre-built ones they can just use. And there's also a lot of AI tools they could use to help you out with this stuff. Right. So if you've never coded before, that's no problem. There's a lot of things that we provide to help you with that. Right. Number 2, if you're a trader investor and someone who is an experienced programmer, right, you might look at this and say, well, is this for beginners? It's both, right? We've actually made this program very easy to get started with, but also has a lot of depth to it as well. Right. So if you are an experienced programmer, if you've been coding for a while, then you'll learn how to apply your skills to the world of finance, how to access, you'll access dozens of our trading strategies. We literally have like 100 strategies now they can use, copy, paste, start from. There's so much code they can use. And we have a thriving community of people building algorithms. So you'll really get to know other people doing this stuff as well. And we have this really great support system to help you get very good at this stuff. Right. So if you're a coder, you're also in the right spot as well, right? So whether you don't know how to program or whether you do know how to program, we can help you out in both of those scenarios, right? So now, what is my goal for this presentation? I think it's important to kind of say this up front to let you know, what am I trying to accomplish, right? What am I trying to do for you during this webinar? Is really my goal is to get you to believe that algorithmic trading is the key to unlocking incredible success in trading and investing. And I'm going to show you some of my proprietary frameworks and some of the things that we've been working on to make it really simple for you to achieve that result. Right? But before we get into that, do you want to save some money? You guys want to save some money?
Of course. course.
Small, right? Of course, yes, definitely. 100%. So I'm going to make a deal with you. If you guys stick around until the end, I'm going to give you guys a discount coupon to save a bunch of cash. We're actually doing a Black Friday deal right now as well. So it is quite a significant coupon code if you guys actually act on it by today. All right, so I'm going to give you guys actually two coupon codes by the end of today that you'll be able to use. All right, so stick around until the end.
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So here's our agenda for today, right? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share these slides with you. So let me share them. I'm going to get this link up here. Share them in case you guys want to follow along. There's a bunch of links in here and things like that. If you guys want to check all that out, you can follow along with this presentation, right? And then second of all, I want to get to know you guys a little bit. You guys are the stars of the show. I can also tailor this presentation towards you guys after I get to know you a little bit. So I would really like to get to know who's on this call and what you guys are up to and what you want to do, all that sort of thing. Then I'm going to tell you about myself, kind of my background and where all this is coming from and why you should care at all about listening to what I'm saying, right? Then we'll cover the 3 secrets. We have 3 different secrets here to investing. I'm not going to reveal them just yet, but we're going to cover all 3. And then after that, we're going to cover case studies. You're going to get to see other students that have gone through our programs before and how they liked it and all that kind of thing. And then we're going to talk a little bit about our all access plan. I'm going to show you how you can really dive into this stuff and really, really get good at building these algorithms. All right. Okay, cool. So let's get started. So first of all, who is on this call? So if you guys could type this into the chat, I'm going to also copy and paste it here, right? So if you guys can type this into your chat, tell me a little bit about yourself, right? Tell me about, what is your occupation? Tell me what, do you know how to program, right? And how much investment experience do you have in years, right? So if you could let me know in the chat, type that out. Let me know what's your occupation, do you know how to program, and how much investment experience do you have, right? Okay, I'll wait for you guys to type that out. In the meantime, let me tell you a little bit about myself, right? So you kind of get that background too, because I also know it takes a little bit of time to type things out. So here's a little bit about me. So first of all, I've been programming for 25 years now. It's been a very long time. Not to date myself, but I started when I was like 10, 12 years old, quite a while ago. I've been coding for quite some time. I also have a master's degree in finance from something like an Ivy League type school out of Canada. Cost me a heck of a lot less money than Ivy Leagues. I got accepted to a bunch in the US, but it was like a tenth of the cost to go to school in Canada. So I decided to do that instead. I've 10 years of experience working in financial technology companies and on Wall Street. I think it's actually more like 12 years at this point. But I've worked at a bunch of different companies. Like for example, I worked at a company called Greystone, quite a large mortgage lender in New York. Last time I checked, they do like $10 billion in mortgages every year. I worked directly with their CEO and his son, basically building out a brand new software unit where we created an app that processed to date probably, I'm saying here $50 billion in mortgages. I actually think it's quite a bit more than $50 billion in mortgages. So, I've had a chance to build applications that manage quite a large sum of money and really provide a lot of value to our customers there. After that, I joined a company called Voyager. You might have heard of them. They were a crypto brokerage. I was basically employee number 4 there. When I joined the company, it was nothing. It was just a bunch of us with an idea and a WeWork. We kind of got together, started building all this stuff. And next thing you know, we built out Voyager, which grew quite quickly in the crypto space. At one point in time, the company is worth $3 billion on the stock exchange, which is pretty amazing. It made my stock options worth quite a bit. I was able to sell that, made me pretty happy. After that, Voyager guy got caught up in this whole crypto debacle and blew up, but that's after I left. So whatever, would have been nice if it was still around, but still made me a bunch of money, helping to create that thing. Also, right now I'm managing a couple $1 million in investments between myself and my family and friends. All right, so I do manage a decent chunk of change. But I wasn't always like that, right? Years ago in 2008, I blew up my entire investment portfolio. 2008 was just a terrible year. I lost all my money, and I'll tell you a whole story about that. I really didn't know how to manage my risk well and how to invest very well. And really, I was just relying on others for investment advice. Instead of checking things myself, instead of back testing, I was really just relying on others and kind of doing that. That's kind of where I come from, and things have gotten a heck of a lot better since then. And I'll tell you really about my whole story in a little bit. All right, but before we do that, let's get to know you guys. All right, so I see you guys wrote this out. It's fantastic. So Sanjay says, I am a solutions architect working for the US government. Yes, I know how to program, 32 years of experience. Wow, it's very good. It's amazing. If you join our stuff, I bet you could do some really amazing things, Sanjay. Honestly, there's I've seen programmers with your kind of experience build some really amazing things. So that's awesome. Thank you for being here. I'm into crypto. Perfect. Very cool. So am I, actually. I'm a big crypto enthusiast. William says, business owner, no programming experience and moderate experience investing. So complete opposite, right? Lots of experience coding, not any experience coding. So again, our programs are made to be very beginner friendly. Actually, we have a lot of things in our program where you don't need a code at all, right? You can literally just copy paste our code. We show you how to run it, and you can just kind of run with it that way. You don't have to actually code anything if you don't want to. If you want to learn how to code and you want to really build some cool stuff, we even show you how to do that. We have a whole on-ramp on showing you how to get started with Python and all that. And then for those of you that have this really deep experience, like Sanjay had this really deep experience in coding, we get very deep into things, right? We'll show you how to build like machine learning algorithms. We'll show you how to build things like options trading algorithms using different data sources. There's really a very deep level of knowledge that we have in this company. We've been doing this for a long time, and I could say with a lot of confidence that we're one of the best algo trading companies on the planet right now, because we have been doing this for quite some time, and we do have a lot of code and a lot of expertise here. Very cool. So welcome, guys. Maria says, hello. Hello, Maria. How's it going? Brian says, government IT programmer, IT program manager. Very cool. So again, welcome, Brian. People that join that have programming experience, I've seen them do some really cool stuff. So I'd love to see what you do after going through our courses. It's fantastic. Welcome, Brian. Actually, Brian, you're already part of our programs, I think, no? Brian Stitt. Very cool. Welcome. Tony says, retired low voltage tech, trading for 8 years, no coding experience, have programmed head-end systems, got robbed by Voyager, Steve Ehrlich. Yeah, I really don't like what Steve Ehrlich ended up doing with that company. They started doing all the lending stuff after I left. Really not happy that he took it in that direction, because we were actually doing very well as a company until that point. Yeah, I know. I'm not a fan either. I had some money locked up there. I sold like half of my stock options, and then I'm like, you know what? I'll hold on to the rest. It's doing well. Next thing you know, it went to zero. So I'm not very happy with them either, to be quite honest with you. But it is what it is, Cool. So thanks, Tony. Thank you for letting me know. Adrian says, I'm a partner in manufacturing business, some programming experience, used SQL a lot in a Unix environment. Very cool. I've been experienced with Pine in TradingView, interested in applying algo trading to crypto, to trading crypto. Very cool, Adrian. That sounds awesome. If you're doing Pine trading in TradingView, I think one thing you'll notice is that you're going to end up running into some serious roadblocks. TradingView or Pine script in general has a lot of limitations. You're not able to get data from outside of TradingView. You're not able to do any kind of machine learning applications. You're not allowed to trade certain types of instruments. There's a lot of limits to using PineView or Pine script, right? We use Python when we do our stuff, and for good reason, because we could use a bunch of different brokers. We could use machine learning type applications. We can connect to a bunch of different data sources. We have a lot more freedom when we do things in Python. So if you're doing that stuff in PineScript, I'd recommend trying to look at things in Python as well, because you get a lot more freedom, and you're not going to run into these, like when you do stuff with PineScript, you're eventually going to hit a wall, and you're just not going to be able to do things, right? You're just going to be stuck, right? You're not going to get the same thing with Python. So I'd strongly recommend you look into that. But definitely very cool that you're already going down that path, Adrian. That's awesome. Gordon says he's an anesthesiologist. Very cool. 15 years of trading, know nothing about programming. Very cool, Gordon. That's awesome. I'd love to see what kind of strategies you've been using with your trading as well. Again, you don't have to be a coder when you join our stuff. There's actually a lot of programs that we have now where you don't need a code at all. For example, you join our Tuesday class. If you have a trading strategy in mind, just let us know and we'll just build it during the Tuesday class and you can just use it, right? So you absolutely do not need to be a coder. If you're interested in learning how to code, we can help you with that. But even if you don't want to code at all, you could just use our existing code, or you could join our classes where we'll build it for you, right? So definitely just want to point that out. Thanks, Gordon. Gil says, tech sale manager, aero engineer. That's very cool. It sounds like a very interesting job. A little programming and playing with ThinkScript, 3 to 4 years options investing. Very cool. Yeah, Gil, same thing with ThinkScript. I'm willing to bet that you'll start running into some limitations with it. It's a lot harder to code. You can't use AI to have a code for you. With Python, you can have AI actually write your code for you. So it's a lot easier to do stuff. You have a lot less limitations. You're gonna be able to do like machine learning stuff. Like ThinkScript, I think you're gonna find it has a lot of limitations with it as well, right? A lot of these like languages that these brokers have made themselves, you can't use AI with it, which means it's much harder to code. You have to think through everything yourself. Whereas if you ever see me coding, I barely code anymore. I just like get the AI to do all the stuff for me, right? It's a heck of a lot easier to build stuff in Python, a lot less limitations. You could use whatever broker you want. So it's quite a bit simpler to do all that stuff. Very cool. Sanjay, Hard Eye is very cool. Thank you, Sanjay. Awesome. Sam Harrison says, I'm a trust consultant. I show investors how to legally avoid capital gains tax. That is fantastic, Sam. We need more people like you in our lives. That is great. I would actually love to talk to you about how we can even optimize some of our algorithms to optimize for capital gains as well. I think that'd be a very cool discussion. Either way, welcome, Sam. That sounds fantastic. Would love to see you as part of our courses. Ozzy says, hi, everyone. Hi, Ozzy. I think you just joined today. Welcome, Ozzy. Wilfred, and by the way, we're Ozzy. I know you're thinking about trading Tradier. We're going to be adding that broker in very soon. So I think you're going to be very happy with trading this stuff through Tradier. So welcome on board. Wilfredo says, Roldos, I'm a case manager for harm reduction program. No coding experience, invested in stock in 1983 and pulled out. I need to learn algorithmic trading. Times are changing. I definitely agree with you 100% on that. Basically, I don't see how people would trade without computers in the future. Like even right now, like trading using algorithms just gives you such a huge advantage that is crazy. I don't understand how people don't use this stuff. I guess that's why, I think the typical stock investor, they make like 3% a year. For me personally, I've been making like 15% a year, 20% a year. Like I smoke the average stock investor, and some of our newer algorithms are actually have even better returns than that. So as soon as we get our Tradier stuff up, I'm hoping to start making some really good returns. But either way, I'll tell you my story in a bit. It's worked out quite well for me, and I hope to share this knowledge with you guys as well. Gordon Barnes says, have a personal coder. Very cool. Awesome. I mean, if you join our programs, we do a lot of code for you too. We also have coders as well if you want to use them. So that's great. Thanks, Gordon. Ozzy says, thanks. Adrian says, would like to know how to link algos with a trading account. It's actually pretty simple. We use a LumiBot when we do all of our trading in our classes. And it's as simple as just getting API keys from the brokers and putting them in. It's not your password, but something like a password. And just put it in. We show you that in our workshops, in our classes, and you'll see how to do that sort of thing in a bunch of our different classes, right? Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. That was fantastic. It sounds like we have a really great bunch here today, a nice mix. A lot of people with some good trading experience. I think that's awesome. Again, you don't have to be a coder. If you want to learn how to code, we'll teach you how to code. But even if you don't want to code at all, we have code that you can just use and run, modify it however you want. You really don't have to be that good at this stuff. But if you are a coder and you want to take things to the next level, we have lots and lots and lots of stuff for you to get good at it. Everything from machine learning to, you know, really complex algorithms for options and all that kind of stuff. We have it available for you too. Right. Cool. So thank you guys. It's fantastic. It's great to get to know you. Let's get it started off then. So do you guys want to hear the secrets? You want to hear the 3 secrets to algo trading?
Sure, why not?
Let's do it. All right. So secret number 1 is back testing. All right. So you guys might be wondering what the heck is back testing. Maybe some of you know what it is. Maybe some of you don't. Back testing is essentially looking back over the past 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, using your strategy and simulating your trading over those 10, 20 years, seeing how it would have done. And that can give you a really good idea if this is a good algorithm, if this is a good strategy, and help you make much better informed decisions on your trading going forward, right? So let me tell you a little story about this, right? So here's my story. And why backtesting is so important to me, right? Like why I care so much about this personally, right? And why a lot of our students care and are actually doing quite well because of it. So as I mentioned, you know, it was 2008 and I basically lost my life savings in 2008, right? I saved up something like 30 grand. To me, that was a lot of money at the time, right? I was in my 20s, right? And just blew up everything, right? I had no idea how to do like risk management well and all that kind of stuff. You know, it felt terrible. Obviously, losing your life savings sucks. It really stressed me out for a while. It took a while to save that up. But it really gave me the fire that I needed to get good at this stuff, right? I became absolutely obsessed with figuring out what the heck went wrong and how I can make sure that never happens again. So what I did was I applied to a Master's of Finance program at Schulich, which is like one of the best, you know, Masters of Finance programs in the world. I actually got in, which is amazing. And I was really determined to learn, right? And when I went there, what I learned, like, it blew my mind. These professors were really, really smart. They worked at these like large hedge funds and big banks and managed like billions of dollars. And they taught us all these like really cool new things that like I never even thought of before. You know, they taught us this very calculated way to invest, right? How to like price things and how to judge things. There's a lot of math involved. There's a lot of historical data, a lot of risk management, right? Really learned a lot from this course. You know, I felt like I was learning from Yoda. Some of these people was like, it's amazing. And basically I spent every night, this is outside of schoolwork. My school work is quite intense, but even outside of schoolwork, I was just obsessed with this stuff. I would create these big Excel spreadsheets and little computer programs to basically analyze stocks and to build the perfect strategy, right? So imagine like this giant Excel spreadsheet. And I'm like, okay, well, what if I bought this at this point in time? And what if I bought this here and then sold it? And I held on to this stock or this ETF. And I just kept playing around with it. Like, what if I borrowed money here? Like all these different things I kept playing around with in this giant Excel spreadsheet, which is kind of cumbersome to do back in the day. We have a lot better technology now, right? But basically, I was analyzing all these different things. And what I started to really understand was that like me losing my money in 2008, that was like such an obvious thing, right? It was like once I went through this and once I did the analysis on it, it was like, obviously I would lose my money. Like if I had ran this experiment over 100 times, I would have blown up my account every single time, right? I just wasn't doing things properly. I wasn't taking on the right risk management procedures. I was doing all sorts of things wrong. And after I spent all this time going through his Excel spreadsheet and learning from my master's in finance, I basically started applying everything that I learned, right? So it's like, you know what? Because of this Excel spreadsheet, when I did it, it's like, don't do that, do this instead. It was like a certain amount of margin, don't buy things. Like I had all these new techniques that I came up with. And when I applied it to my money and to my family's money, holy crap, it paid off a lot. We ended up making quite a bit of money off this. So now this is a bit of a sad time actually in my life. My father passed away around this time. So basically, you know, he was the one that was managed my family's finances. And when he passed away, people basically looked at me and said, well, you're the one with a finance degree, you know, why don't you manage the money? Right. So I took on the portfolio and I started investing my money, but also my family's money. And holy crap, it grew into a lot. I started off, I think, with something like 200 grand. And I ended up growing that thing like crazy. My mom is now a multimillionaire, right? From the money that she's given to me. It's grown a lot over the years. I think her portfolio is worth 1.5 or something like that in stocks itself. And then we also bought like a bunch of real estate and stuff as well, and made a ton of money off that too. So my mom is a multimillionaire. She's actually able to travel the world right now. She goes to Poland, for the entire summertime. She just likes to hang out there with her sister and basically just does whatever. She's bought like a bunch of houses. She wants to buy just like a vacation home in Poland. Basically, she could do whatever the heck she wants. She was talking to me the other day about how she wants to go to Cancun, to Mexico, and she wants to bring her friend, but her friend has no money because never really invested that much when they were growing up. But my mom's like, you know what? I could pay for her. It doesn't matter, right? She has enough cash to be able to do that kind of thing. So I feel very happy that I was able to help my mother with that sort of thing. But it's not just her. Also, my own portfolio has been doing extremely well. I grew my wife's portfolio a lot. We got married. I started managing her money. I grew the crap out of the thing. It actually paid for a lot of starting this business, the investment results that we got. And basically after about 2 years of managing her investments, I grew it more than basically her entire life of investment returns. I made more in 2 years than she did in her entire life of investing. So quite a big difference there. And on top of that, right now I own a business. Last time we got valued at somewhere around $4 million. So we're all doing quite well, right? From blowing up my portfolio in 2008 to we're all freaking multimillionaires at this point. I'd say that worked out quite well. And really, why did all this happen? I attribute it all to back testing. All this time that I spent sitting in front of that Google spreadsheet and basically saying, what about this and what about this, and trying it out over the past 10 years or 20 years. That's the reason why I was able to achieve all these big results, right? So back testing is such an important thing to do, right? And if you guys are not doing it, I'd strongly suggest that you do it, because this can make the difference between you losing all your money versus you having millions of dollars in the future, right? So quite a large difference here. Okay, so that's secret number one. Okay. So let's talk about secret number two. Okay. So secret number two is use existing code and collaboration, right? You do not need to do this stuff from scratch, okay? There is a lot of existing code that we have that's available around the internet, and there's a lot of collaboration when you work together with others. A lot of people are building the same sort of thing. You collaborate and you can make a heck of a lot more money than doing this off on your own, right? So let me tell you a story about that as well, right? So here's the story. So there is a student that's part of our classes. His name is Worth, right? And he basically joined, I say 3 months ago. It's been, maybe like 5 months now. And he basically has a few strategies that he trades money manually, and he makes good money doing it, right? One of those strategies is this strategy called UVXY. It trades the symbol UVXY, and basically short this symbol, right? You short it based off of like Bollinger Bands is what he's been doing, right? Now, if you look at the symbol, basically the price goes straight down, right? It's down like 1,000,000% or something over the past, whatever amount of years. But that makes it a very good stock to short, right? Because you're making money as it's going down, right? So what Worth did is he joined our live algo hour class. These are classes we have every Tuesday. We're gonna have one tomorrow if you guys join at 8 p.m. tomorrow. It actually 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so he joined that class on Tuesday, and we decided to build a strategy during this class. Right, every class we pick a different person to build a strategy for, and during this class we decided to build his strategy. Right, and we got some crazy good backtesting results. Like the results were like, holy crap, it was like basically doubling your money every year, which is nuts, right? So these results are amazing. I'll show you the results in a second, what we got when we back tested it, what it looked like over this time period. So we got these really good results, and then Worth basically started trading this thing, and he's been getting some really good results as well, right? Basically, it's what he was doing already, and we just automated it, right? So he's already been trading this thing. We just took it, automated it, and made it so he doesn't have to do this stuff himself every single time, right? And we also back tested it to like tweak it. We're able to improve it a little bit, right? because we backtest, so we can make it even better, right? And now we're getting more of the group to run the spot, right? So if you join our program, you can actually take this code, the code that we made for him, and you could use this code and run it yourself. Okay. And you can run the spot, and basically everyone benefits from these strategies, right? So if you join our Tuesday class, right, you'll see someone else have their strategy built. You're like, oh, this sounds really cool. You can take that strategy, use it yourself, use it to make money. Maybe you have your own strategy. You bring it up and we'll build it for you during that class. Basically, the class is me writing code and people telling me what to write, what to build, right? So if you have a strategy in mind, you could join on Tuesday, say, hey, we should build this strategy. We'll build it during class, and then you can go off and use it yourself, right? And basically what ends up happening is this really amazing teamwork effect, right? Everyone has all these different great strategies, and we're building all this cool stuff, and everyone gets to choose, everyone gets to use these strategies together, right? And it's really, it's kind of like this family thing. It's like that Fast and Furious, like for family, like if you think of Vin Diesel's voice, like the family, but it's kind of like that, right? Like we all get together and we all build strategies together and use each other's strategies, and all end up doing a lot better as a whole, right? We have a lot more strategies from everyone in the group as well. We've tested a lot of these things over the past few months, and we're going to be testing over the next few weeks and months as well, right? And strategies that we have in this class are the best of all of our strategies, right? It's everyone gets their best ideas, puts it together, we automate it, and you get to have the best of the best, right? You're going to get access to all these incredible strategies that we've built over the years, and you're going to be able to use them yourself, or if you have your own, we could build that too, right? So you get access to this really nice pool of things that you can use. And it's quite amazing when we all work together and collaborate, right? So let me show you a couple of strategies that we've built during this class, right? So here's a few strategies we've built during our Tuesday classes. So this is the strategy that Worth brought up, okay? This is a strategy where we basically short UVXY based on some Bollinger Bands. So it's like if it goes a little too far in one direction, we get out. If it goes too far in the other direction, we get in. So it's like this it's kind of protecting our risk a little bit in that way. So if you compare this, so this is the blue line is our strategy, and the yellow is the S&P 500. You can see just how big of a friggin' difference this makes, right? Look at the returns on this thing. This is simulated trading, right? So it's if we took this strategy and we did this from January 1st, 2021 up until today, so that's what, 1, 2, 3 years, almost 3 years, not even a full 3 years, okay? This thing just took off like a rocket ship. Over this 3 years, it made a 708% return. So let's say if you put in $10,000, you would have ended up with $80,000 after 2.5, 3 years. That's incredible, right? Very, very good returns. That compares to S&P 500, which only did 20% over that same time period, right? So S&P wasn't doing that great. We did very, very well with this strategy, right? That comes down to about 72% a year, if you're wondering. That's the CAGR, the average annual return, right? Versus S&P, which did around 5% a year over that same time period. Okay? It is a little bit riskier, right? You can see here on a max drawdown, it is a little bit riskier. It's, doesn't come for free, but I'd say a little bit more risk for getting returns that crazy. Sounds like a good idea to me. And Worth has been running it. Last I heard, he's been making some good money doing this already too. Yeah. So very cool stuff. I see here a chat. Is this because UVXY tanked? Yeah, so Adrian, if you take a look at the chart for UVXY, it's constantly going down, right? It's just like straight down. This is UVXY, right? Take a look at this chart. It is down, so it would have been $17 trillion a share back in the day, and now it's all the way down to $10. It's just constantly going down. Like it's the type of ETF that just keeps sinking all the time. That's why shorting it is such a good idea, because it keeps falling all the time. So you make money on the way for it to go down, right? That's essentially what this strategy does. And it's a good question. It's a very unique symbol, right? And this is what I mean. You join our classes and you learn about all these different strategies, right? Not only do you get to get this code that you can run it and do it yourself, but you also get the ideas from it as well, right? Okay, here's another strategy that we made during class. Okay, this is a strategy we call stock leverage with calls. Okay, what it does is basically buys call options. So for those of you that don't know what call options are, they're a type of option that allows you to bet on the price of a stock going up, right? So what you do is you buy these call options. This one I think is buying it like once a month, right? And every month you just flip it over, right? You just keep renewing it, okay? You put, in this case, we're putting 4% of our money into these options. And then the other 96% of our money is in like a very safe thing, like treasury bills or something like that. In this case, I think we use SGov or UVX or something like that. Right, whatever, it pays like a 5% interest normally, right? And then the rest of 4% of our portfolio is in this like super risky like call option thing. Okay. So it's, in other words, called like a barbell strategy is what this is, right? So here's that strategy with 4% of the strategy's money into call options. And in the blue, you could see how the strategy performed. In the yellow, you could see the S&P 500. You can see that it's pretty similar in terms of returns. Okay. However, it's similar in terms of returns, but the risk is quite a bit lower, right? So here's the return. It's a 90% return over this whole time period. Okay. So about it doubled its money in about 3.5 years. Okay. Versus S&P, which did, 78%, almost double as well. So pretty similar returns, right? Over these two time periods. But the difference is that this is a lot safer, right? Look at the max drawdown. The probability of losing money is quite a bit less. We see this whole thing in COVID. We didn't really get hit as bad by COVID, right? It kind of protects you because you're never risking that much money at a time, right? You're only putting 4% of your money into these stocks at any given time. So that's the biggest loss that you can make, right? So kind of makes things a little bit safer, right? Is essentially what this does, right? But what's really cool, right? And this is what you can do with algorithms, with technology, and with back testing, right? Is you can actually try it out. Well, what if it wasn't 4% of my money into call options? What if instead I put in 6% of my money into call options? It's a very small thing to change. You can actually take our code, use this, change one number, and run it, right? Like you literally do not need to know how to code. You can literally just take our code, change that one number, and run it, okay? And this is what you would get if you put 6% of your money into this instead of the 4%. Okay, so here is in blue the strategy, right? You can see that it's now very clearly above the S&P 500 the whole way through, right? Again, the yellow is the S&P 500, right? This thing is very clearly above the whole time, right? It did almost double the return of the S&P 500 in this case. All you did was change it to 6%. Now it's almost double the return. It's 134% over this, 3-year time period, 3.5 years, let's say, versus the S&P, which did only 77%, right? So it did double the return of the stock market, right? And for about the same risk, right? The max drawdown was about the same, right? So you're taking about the same risk. Your volatility is about the same as well. So you're taking about the same risk as the stock market, but getting double the returns. Pretty amazing, right? So in this case, it's about 18% per year return is what it accomplished versus 11.7% for the stock market, right? So quite a bit better return than the stock market for about the same level of risk. Pretty amazing if you ask me, right? But, if you have this code, you can modify it, right? You could change this to do whatever the heck you want, right? Instead of 6%, maybe you want 8%, right? So if you were to change it to 8%, and again, just one number to change and you can run it, okay? What would have happened over this time period is you would have gotten a 429% return instead, which is a heck of a lot better. This is what, 5 times the return of the stock market? It's definitely more than 4. It's like almost 5 times the return of the stock market. It works out to be about 38% a year, right? The drawdown is higher, so it does come with risk. So this isn't like, this is not like a risk-free thing, but holy crap, 38% a year. If you do the math, and if you made 38% a year for the next 10, 20 years, I swear to you, you'll never have to worry about money ever again in your life. If you can actually accomplish returns like that. 38% a year return is crazy. Put that into context. Warren Buffett people say he's one of the greatest investors in all of history. Warren Buffett makes 22% a year on average. This is making 38, right? Very, very big difference. Pretty much double the returns of Warren Buffett using this type of strategy. Amazing stuff, right? Okay, so that's that one strategy. You can notice how you can change it, right? 4% to 6% to 8%. And if you get this code, you can even experiment with it more. Maybe you want something in between. Maybe you want like a 7%. Maybe you're like, let's risk it all, like put like 10%, right? And you can get these crazy outsized returns. But it's your code. You get to use this code, modify it however you want, run it, and get whatever results you want to get out of it, right? This is the power of collaboration, right? You could use existing algorithms. Okay, let me show you another one. Here's another strategy that we made. This one is called our Congress trading strategy. And this one's very interesting. People really love this one. Basically, what it does is it follows members of Congress, so specifically the House. So people like Nancy Pelosi and Mitt Romney, I think, is in the House too, right? So follows all those members of Congress and basically keeps a tally of what they're buying, right? So if Nancy Pelosi bought, Microsoft, Mitt Romney bought Apple, whatever, we keep a tally of what everyone is buying. And based on that tally, if there's been more than 4 purchases of any stock in the past 45 days, we will buy that stock and we will hold on to it. Okay. We'll hold on to it for 45 days. Yeah. So the returns for the strategy are quite amazing, right? If you think about it, it makes a lot of sense, right? Not only are members of Congress insiders, they know things that you don't know, right? Because companies have to tell them these things, and they know all these trade secrets and stuff like that. So they know things that you don't know. But on top of that, they're also the ones that pass the laws. So if there is a company that they like, they can pass a law to make it better for them, right? So for example, there's this stock that I bought recently, and this is again by Congress Trading. I bought this, I think, 2 days ago, right? I should have actually bought it a day earlier. I got the signal like a day earlier. I would have done even better. But here is, I only put in like 2K. But basically, I bought this thing. How do I show you this? I'm looking at my Schwab account right now. Gain loss. There you go. TCMD. I'm up 5% in 2 days buying this stock, right? If I had bought it a day earlier, I'd be up about 10% in 3 days, because we're following what Congress is trading, and they give you some really good tidbits every once in a while. Some of these stocks are really, really good. So anyway, so we built a strategy that does this, follows members of Congress, trades the things that they trade, right? And these are the results that we got, right? So we got, if we had been using this strategy since July of 2021, that's as far as I can go back with this data, back to July. And basically, we would have had a return that looks like this, quite astronomical, shooting up through the roof, versus S&P 500, which barely did anything around the same time period. So we would have about doubled our money over this time period so about 2 years, right? About 2 years, we would have doubled our money, right? Versus the S&P 500, which only did about 9-10% over that entire time period. So we did a heck of a lot better. And not only that, but our max drawdown is actually better than the S&P 500, right? So we actually are in a safer position as far as max drawdown is concerned, and we're making like 10 times the returns. It's quite an astronomical difference. It makes a lot of sense, right? Okay, so Sanjay says, I have to drop. Nice information, production outage. No problem, Sanjay. Need to go on call. Awesome, no problem. Okay, cool. So that's our Congress trading strategy, right? So let me show you another one here. So here's another strategy. Here's another one that we made during our Tuesday class, okay? And this one's called a straddle, okay? Basically, it's an options strategy. What it does is it invests, I think in this case, in the S&P 500, and it just sells a put option and sells a call option. That expires in a month. And then when that month happens, it just does it again, right? And does another straddle. And after that, does it again, right? So it just keeps doing this, keeps renewing this straddle every single month, right? And when we ran this, we got some very nice results as well, right? Again, you can see here in the blue, this is our strategy, did quite well versus S&P 500. In the yellow, you can see we're smoking it by quite a large amount. This strategy, when we back tested it from 2020 until about today, so that's almost 4 years, right? Because it's November, right? So 4 years, about 250% return, very nice return over 4 years, or in other words, about 25% a year return. Very, very nice returns, right? It does come with a little bit more risk. You can see the max drawdown is a little higher, volatility is higher, but the returns are quite significant. If you compare it to the S&P 500, that only did 5% a year. We did 25% a year. I'd say that's one heck of a win, right? So another very good strategy. And again, if you join our classes, you get to have the code for this. You get to use this stuff. You can modify it if you want. You could run it. You could back test it. You could do whatever you want, right? And when you join our classes, again, you get access to all this stuff, and you get to also help us build new ones and see all of our latest cutting edge stuff. It's very, very cool, right? So that was strategy 2. Use existing code and collaborate on this stuff. You get huge, huge benefits from that. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to secret number 3. Yeah. So secret number 3, and this one is growing quite a bit. And everyone's saying use AI tools, but there's a lot more to it than that. There's actually a lot of details to it, right? So AI tools is definitely secret number 3. Use this stuff when you're building algorithms. It will give you a huge leg up, right? And let me tell you a little story, right? Let me tell you a little story about this, okay? So there's a student of ours, Latoya, and I'm going to show you a video of her in a little bit as well. She basically joined Lumi Wealth something like 8 months ago, maybe something like more 10 months ago at this point, right? Because I have to keep updating this presentation. But she joined us a couple months ago. And when she joined, she had 0 programming knowledge. Okay, I mean, she's a pharmacist. She never coded a day in her life, right? Brand new to this stuff, didn't know how to do anything, okay? So what we did was we taught her how to do the basics of coding, how to build basics of the algorithms. And then we also taught her how to use some of these AI tools. So for example, we taught her how to use ChatGPT, not just the basics. We taught her like advanced techniques with it, how to use it to do certain things. We taught her how to use GitHub Copilot, super useful when you're coding. To me, it's like everything. Like I refuse to code without it. And we taught her all these different types of things to help her generate code from scratch and how to generate code from scratch and how to use it to explain and modify code and help with error messages. We taught her how to do all that kind of stuff. So after joining our classes, she went through all this stuff and she built some really freaking amazing algorithms. I was shocked, guys. Honestly, it was like 2-3 months into the class and she just built this like crazy complicated thing. I was like, I was shocked. I was like, how do you go from not coding at all to 2 months later building this super sophisticated algorithm, right? So what did our algorithm do? She basically built a Discord bot. It would go to different Discord channels and would, there's a bunch of these websites out there that gives you trading signals, right? Buy this, buy that, whatever, right? So she basically built a bot that checks those, that tracks that thing, right? And if someone says, buy X and Y, then she'll go off and actually buy that, right? Her bot can actually execute that trade, right? And also because she's able to do this, so first of all, she could do it automatically. So she doesn't have to sit there doing it herself, right? But second of all, she's also able to analyze which ones are good and which ones are full of crap, right? Because a bunch of these Discord channels, they tell you, oh yeah, these are great trading signals or whatever, but they're not very good at what they do, right? We have our own trading signals. We pride ourselves in having really good stuff, but there's a lot of people out there that just sell snake oil, right? So using her bot, she's able to figure that out quite easily, right? Who's actually talking BS and who actually is a legit trading signal provider, right? So she's been using this thing. Last time I heard, she's actually been making some good money doing this stuff, trading it. So good for her. I think it's amazing, right? But not only that, not only did she build this great bot in such a short time frame and started trading this stuff herself, but on top of that, she also gained a new skill of programming. And because of that, she was able to get a brand new job. Last I heard, her job, she got like a huge salary boost. I think it was like a 30-40K, if I remember correctly, like a really big salary boost after she got these skills in programming. So not only did she build these great bots, but she's also able to get a better job with it. So amazing stuff overall. Yeah. So that's Latoya, and AI really is the thing that made this happen for her, right? Without AI, it would have been much harder for her to learn all this stuff. So it's getting a lot easier to learn how to code, guys. Like learning how to code is becoming much easier these days. So let me give you a couple tips on how to use AI when you're coding, right? If you want to use AI for coding to build your own bots, again, you don't have to build your own bots. You could use ours, right? But if you do want to build your own bots and you want to get into the whole coding thing, right? Here's a few tips for you, right? So number one, start by finding existing code that does something close to what you want to do, right? So instead of telling ChatGPT, make me a trading bot from scratch, it's usually quite bad at that. It's not smart enough yet to build a trading bot from scratch, right? But you can give it existing code. You say, here's this code, right? Use it, right? And then basically you can tell it to explain it to you and all that sort of thing, but then it can modify that code to make it do what you want, right? So you can actually take our code, give it to ChatGPT and say, hey, make this thing like trade differently in this way and modify this thing. And it could actually do a very good job for you doing that, right? So telling it to do a bot from scratch, not so good, but giving it a bot and modifying it makes a lot more sense. It does a lot better job at that, right? Okay, so that's tip number one. Yeah. Tip number two is if you don't understand what the code does, right? If you have some code, you're looking at it and you're like, what the heck does this thing do? I'm confused, right? What you could do is you can actually take that code, copy, paste it, put it into ChatGPT, and you can tell it, explain this to me. What does this do? Explain bit by bit how it works, right? And you can even tell it to put something called code comments inside of the code so that as you're reading the code, you can read the code kind of like English, right? It actually tells you this was going to do this, when then this is going to do this. This code does this, right? It'll walk you through all that kind of stuff, right? So very useful to take code, give it to ChatGPT, tell it to explain it to you, right? You're going to get a lot of value out of that. Right? Number three, make sure that you install GitHub Copilot. It is the most freaking useful thing I've ever seen in my life. Basically, it's like a code companion. Like when you're writing code, it can automatically write code for you, right? So like I said, I barely write code anymore. What I do lately is I'll put in a hashtag, which is like a code comment, right? And I'll say, get me the MACD, right? Or convert this to a different time frame, or like I'll write it in plain text English and it'll just do the code for me, right? Like I don't need to sit there fiddling with code, right? This thing is just going to write the code for me, right? Which is what I was saying for those of you guys that are using PineScript or those other things, you don't get that with those types of coding environments. With Python, you do. It makes it a lot easier to build algorithms with Python than it is with TradingView or anything like that, right? So a huge advantage that you get using GitHub Copilot, right? Number four is if you get errors, and inevitably you will if you're coding, right? You're going to get errors all the time, and you're going to be like, what the heck does this mean? And what do I do about it? Normally what you do is you take it and Google it and try to find out, how do I fix this thing, whatever. These days, it's much better. Take that error, literally copy, paste it, put into ChatGPT, and not only will it tell you in plain English what's wrong with it, but also tell you how to fix it. And if you give it the original code, it can rewrite the code for you and fix that code for you. It's friggin' magic. It's absolutely incredible. So if you ever get any kind of errors whenever you're coding, make sure that you just copy paste it, put it into ChatGPT. It's going to make your life a heck of a lot easier, right? It's going to tell you how to fix that error. It's going to tell you how to fix the code. It's going to make everything so much easier in that respect, right? Okay. And number five, check out our course recordings, right? If you go through our course recordings, basically I'm using AI nonstop. You could see me as I'm writing this code, and you'll be able to get a really good sense of what this code does and how to actually use AI to actually see me doing it as well, right? Okay, cool. So hope you guys found that useful. Some nice tips for using AI when you're coding, right? Okay, cool. So now, do you guys want to know what you'll get with our all access plan, right? So we have an all access plan where you guys can really dive deep into this stuff, get access to a bunch of our code and all sorts of things. Do you guys want to know what you'll get inside of our all access plan when you sign up with us? All right, so let me tell you about it. Right. So here's our all access plan. This is a program that we started a couple of months ago, and we've just gotten really huge love for this. We're getting really, really good feedback, and we keep adding in more and more features, by the way. I just added 2 things to the end of this list. These features didn't exist, 2 weeks ago, right? So we're constantly adding in new features, and we keep making this thing better. But here's what you're going to get if you join our all access plan and you want to get into our programs, right? So first of all, you're going to get access to a bunch of courses, right? So you're going to get our Algo Trading course, which teaches you how to build trading algorithms, right? You're going to get our AI for Trading course, which is going to teach you how to use machine learning and AI in your algorithms to like make very smart decisions on things. You're going to get our options trading course, which is basically teaching you how to build options trading algorithms, right? So it's not just trading options, it's making algorithms that trade options. You'll learn how to do that, right? You'll also get a class on crypto trading as well, right? How to build crypto trading algorithms, right? You also get our blockchain development course. If you've ever been interested in the blockchain, you want to learn how to make your own stuff on the blockchain, you'll get access to that course. You'll also get our Web3 development course, which pairs up with that. So you can build your own Web3 applications and blockchain applications. You can build some really cool stuff with it. You also get access to our live algo hour, which is, I explained to you before, our Tuesday class. It's amazing. It's like this innovation lab where we're constantly making new algorithms and really, really cutting edge stuff. You could even come in there and say you have your own strategy that you want to use. You can actually bring it up in class and we can build it for you during the class. It's really amazing, right? You're also going to get one-on-one support. So, if you go through our programs, you're not going to be on your own. You're going to be able to either get on a call with me or someone else, part of our program that can help you out. If you're stuck anywhere, we'll walk you through all this stuff. You'll get a lot of one-on-one support with this. You also get our trading signals, which is one of our new products. It's amazing. This way you can actually see our algorithms running live and what they're doing and what the results are, right? Like in here, here's our trading signals, right? I could show you this basically, one of our strategies, our diversified leverage strategy. For example, you could watch it, you could copy it, you could see what it's trading. And for example, this strategy did about 10% return in the past week and a half, right? In a week and a half, it made almost 10% return. So it did very, very well, for example. You'll get access to this stuff and you'll get all these notifications, right? And then also you're going to be able to join our weekly tutoring sessions or we're calling them weekly tutoring sessions or weekly office hours, right? You're going to be able to join that as well, right? You're going to be part of our weekly office hours. So if you ever get stuck on anything, you could join. It's also a way to meet other people in the classes and collaborate on things. It's a really, really nice thing that we've added in. It's basically every week you get to join. It's on Wednesdays, and you get to actually ask any questions or get help with anything, share your screens, or even if you have a bot that you want to build out, we can help you with that during that class. It's really like this open-ended thing where we can help you out with a lot of stuff, right? Okay, cool. So in other words, when you take this program, when you take our all access plan, you'll be able to analyze your own investments using data, right? So instead of just investing based off of some YouTube video or whatever you heard from your friends around the internet, you're going to be able to use real data to analyze your investments and actually see if this makes sense or not. You've seen a lot of these back tests that we've run and all these different things. You can actually analyze these strategies. Are they good strategies or not, right? You'll be able to build algorithms that automatically place trades for you, right? So you'll be able to automate your trading. You're not going to have to sit in front of your computer all day figuring out, should I buy this or sell this? You're going to be able to do that all automatically. You're also going to get an in-depth understanding of blockchain and cryptocurrencies, right? So if you care about that stuff, we have some great course on that. You'll learn a lot about that. You also learn the fundamentals of artificial intelligence and how to apply that to trading, right? How to apply that to investing. You're going to get that as well, right? And a lot more, right? You'll also be able to get rid of, because that's also important, what can you get rid of? You're going to be able to get rid of expensive mistakes that can cost you your life savings. I know this from personal experience. Trading things in the wrong way, not knowing what you're doing can be extremely, extremely costly, right? You can blow up your life savings, or even worse, you can prevent yourself from ever becoming someone that has, you know, $1 million plus in your bank account, right? Learning how to do this stuff can really help you avoid those expensive mistakes that can cost you a lot down the road, right? Number two, it's also going to help you prevent searching YouTube for days, trying to figure out how to get started with algo trading. There's a lot of content out there. It's all kind of all over the place. Really, they don't make it very easy to get started with this stuff. So we'll save you from having to put in all that work. And we do a lot of live sessions. We can help you out with quite a bit of things so you don't get stuck, right? And number three, and I think this is really important too, is you're going to be able to avoid getting scammed by people that are selling you fake investment strategies or fake investment funds, and taking your money and basically running away. I've seen this happen way too often. I find it very sad every time I hear it. I've heard people that like literally, people that are in their retirement age and they lost everything. Like it's horrible. Some of these things are happening. And basically, the reason why you're not going to be in that situation with us is because we never take your money, right? I'm not an investment advisor. I'm not licensed to do that. That's not what we're trying to do here. I'm trying to teach you how to build these algorithms. You get to use our code. We're a software company. I do not want to take your money. I have no interest in taking your money. You keep it in your own brokerage account, and I will give you code so that you can run against it and do whatever you want to do with that account, right? So as opposed to we're an investment fund, let's take all your cash. We are instead going to give you this algorithm, and you're going to be able to run it yourself. So it's a lot safer. You don't have to worry about going on the internet and someone saying, "Oh, I'll make you tons of cash. Just deposit 50 Bitcoin, and I'll make you a millionaire." Right? Actually, 50 Bitcoin, you'd be pretty rich, but you know the point, right? Like you don't have to send money over for that. You'll pay us for our courses, and that's it. The money stays in your account, and you get to run this yourself, right? So I think that's very important. Okay, this also saves you a lot of time and money, right? Joining our classes. Okay, so this is what it took for me to create this stuff for you, right? All the stuff in the all access plan. This is what it took for me to make it. So first of all, it's 4 years and over $100,000, actually more than $100,000, probably around $200,000 actually at this point, creating our trading technology called LumiBot. We have this trading technology that you can use. It's an open source Python library that you can use. It connects to a bunch of different brokers, and it makes it very easy for you to do all this trading and back testing, all that kind of stuff. You get to access that for free, right? It took me many, many years to build this thing, and I paid a lot of people to help out. But you get to access that for free. You also get to save yourself on 500 hours. It took me 500 hours at least to create our course, Algorithmic Trading. I think actually quite a bit more than that, to build out this algorithmic trading class that you get to access. And it's really polished. We spent a lot of time really making this thing very, very good. So you're gonna get that when you join. It also took me over 1,000 hours and over $200,000 to pay to our other instructors to make the rest of the classes of things like our blockchain and our AI and all that. It literally took 1,000 hours and hundreds of thousands of dollars to make those classes as well. It also was over 1,000 hours creating and testing all the algorithms they get to use, right? We have literally almost 100 algorithms right now they can choose from, and it took us thousands of hours to build these things, right? And you're going to get that access. You're going to get that when you join our program, right? Also, it took us, over $300,000, probably more than that, to create our community. And we have a very vibrant community. If you join our Discord, if you go into here, there's our Discord. Very, very vibrant. We're constantly posting all these new strategies. Like here's a new strategy that we built that did quite well, right? There's a recent one, made like 20% return in like a month, right? It's pretty good. 20% in a month, that's not too bad. We're always talking about different things. I was talking to some of these guys today about how I bought like a bunch of Microsoft call options today. We're talking about AI and stuff. So really vibrant community of people that are building these trading algorithms, that are into trading, and really good people to get advice from, to get help with. So you're going to get part of that community as well. Right? So you're going to save a lot of time and money. It took me a lot. It took me a lot to bake all this stuff, and you get to have access to all that as part of our all access plan. So Gordon says, can this be used for Thinkorswim? Easy language, again, I do not recommend using easy language. I do not think that's a good thing to do. Using easy language, you do not get to use AI. You are stuck with TD Ameritrade. You can never trade brokers. You also have, it's also a lot harder to code that stuff, right? There's a lot of limitations with easy language. I would not recommend using easy language. We use Python and we connect to a bunch of brokers. Not currently Schwab yet because they just acquired TD Ameritrade. They're kind of going through this whole flux thing. But as soon as they kind of get their stuff together, we're going to connect it Schwab as well. Right now, we work with a bunch of different brokers. We work with Alpaca. We work with Tradier very soon. We're adding in Interactive Brokers. We work with Coinbase and KuCoin and a bunch of other ones. Basically, we work with all the best brokers that are very good with algorithmic trading, right? So if it's a broker that supports Algo Trading, we are connecting to them, and we're using the brokers that give you the best rates and the best execution and all that. So we have quite a few of them, and that's how we do it, right? But yeah, I would not recommend using easy language. I think you're going to have a really tough time learning it, first of all. And second of all, modifying is going to be very hard. Not a lot of people know how to use easy language. So if you ever want to hire someone to do this, it's a lot more expensive. You're not going to be able to use AI with it. You're not going to be able to use different data sources like the Congress strategy. Impossible to do in easy language. You're going to run into a lot of issues with it, I think. I would strongly recommend you use Python instead. Okay, Tony says, I see LumiWealth stuff on GitHub. Have no idea what I'm looking at. That's no problem, Tony. You don't need to, if you're not a coder, you don't need to know how to do that stuff. If you join our classes, we'll show you how to use it. You do not need to be a coder. Again, we could just literally take our code and run it. If that's what you want to do, take it, run it, use it however you want, right? You don't have to even code any of this stuff if you don't want to, right? So don't feel like you're looking at this stuff and you're like, what the heck is going on? When you join our classes, we'll show you the whole details on how to get everything set up and go through that, right? So as he says, Robert, is the option straddle strategy still applicable today? Do you mean if it's still available, if you can still get it? Yeah, you can absolutely get it. It's within our folders. If you message me after this, let me know. I'll show you where to get it, right? It is in one of our folders somewhere, so you can definitely use it. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it is a great strategy. Actually, I can't wait to get Tradier up and running because I want to run it in the cloud. I want to use it myself personally, So I can definitely see what you're getting at too. Okay, cool. And Tony says, I know someone who made a very popular bot for TradingView. I have that code. Can I use that but change it to Python? Yeah, you definitely can. Yeah, you could translate TradingView code to Python, right? You could actually give it to ChatGPT. It does a pretty good job translating it in the first place, right? And then you usually have to put in a little bit more work to translate over. Or if it's something like a little bit simpler, we could just build it from scratch in Python. But either way, you're going to get a lot more flexibility. It's going to be a lot easier to build in Python. And once you have it built in Python, it's going to be much easier to get developers to help you with it because there's way more developers in Python. It's going to be easy to switch brokers. You're going to be able to add really features a lot better. You can actually use it with all these AI tools and stuff. So it's definitely going to be a lot better. So if you have something in TradingView, you want to move it over, absolutely. If you want, we could even talk about the details of how to do that. Right? We could definitely help you out with that, 100%. Cool. Yeah, awesome, sweet, perfect. Okay, cool. So next thing, so a couple beliefs that you guys might be having right now. I just want to kind of clear things up a little bit. So at this point, you might be thinking, so you might have a belief saying this is going to be very hard and it's going to take many hours of my time, right? A lot of people think that. They get into this and holy crap, all this coding is going to take such a long time, and they get scared and worried that this is, it's too much for me, right? But the truth is that we've perfected this program over 4 years to make it very easy to get started, even if you don't know how to code. And more, we're actually even making this program in such a way that you don't need to be a coder at all, right? You could literally join our classes, join our Tuesday class, listen to all these different strategies. If you have your own strategy, you could let us know and we can build it during that Tuesday class, right? So actually this, Tony, you're saying this whole TradingView thing, we could take a look at it in our Tuesday class as well, or on our Wednesday classes. We can try to build that during that time period, right? We could actually do it during that time, right? And, even if you're not coding, you could just literally take the code that we made, copy paste it and run it yourself, right? And you can modify it, you can make some little tweaks and suggestions and stuff to it, but you don't even really have to code at all, right? These days, you just copy and paste our stuff, right? It makes it a lot easier. So the truth is that, this is not going to take a lot of your time. If you want to get good at this stuff, you could definitely get very deep in it. We have a lot of really good resources, and you can get very, very good at algo trading with our classes. But if you're not a coder, you don't want to do this stuff, you don't have to, right? It's actually quite easy to get started, and you can just copy and paste our stuff. You might also have a belief, that this is just another scam and we're going to steal your money. And why wouldn't you think that? There's so many of these scammers out there. It's crazy. It's literally the amount of scammers that people message me on Facebook. It freaks me out a little bit, to be quite honest with you, because some of them, they actually kind of look convincing, and there's so many of them out there. But you don't have to worry about that with us, because we do not take your money. I don't want your money. Do not give it to me. Keep it in your bank account. Use our algorithms on it, right? You could have this thing trade however you want. It can do all sorts of stuff, right? But I don't want to touch your money, right? You could pay us for the courses and we'll help you out, but the money stays in your account, in your brokerage account, and it stays there and it's safe, right? So if you're worried about if this is some sort of scam or whatever, rest assured it definitely isn't, because if this was a scam, I'd be telling you, here's my Bitcoin wallet and send your money here, a very different conversation. Okay, cool. So that's another belief. Another belief you might have is that you're not computer savvy and you might not be able to do this. Let me tell you a little story about one of our students. There's a student that joined us. He was I think almost 70 years old. He's 68 or 69 years old. He joined us and he couldn't even use Zoom, right? It literally took me 2 hours to figure out how to get him on Zoom, right? It was a little frustrating, not gonna lie, but we got him through it. We got him on Zoom. We got him to learn how to do this stuff. He learned how to open up a browser. He learned how to do all those things. And this guy that was almost 70 years old, barely knew how to use a computer, we were able to get him to run trading algorithms. If we can get him to do it, believe me, we can get you to do it, right? I have full confidence that no matter who joins, right, we'll be able to help you start and run your own trading algorithms, full stop, right? Okay, we got some chats here. Gordon says 65-plus-year-old that barely use a computer. Yeah, exactly. We were able to teach him, right? If we could teach him, we could teach anybody. Trust me on that one. Tony says the possibilities are unlimited. I can already see myself needing to be reined in, or I will need 6 ways from Sunday. Might need help with discipline and focus. Yeah, it makes sense, Tony. It's definitely very exciting stuff. It's things that I get obsessed with. I'm constantly building new algorithms. This is I was doing this stuff before I started a company. The reason why I started this company is because I was just so obsessed with this stuff, and it was paid off so well for me. I'm I might as well make this into my career, So that's kind of the whole thing here. So I definitely get you, Tony. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, so you might have another belief. Says you're an amazing coder. You might say, I'm an amazing coder, right? Maybe you're someone who is really good at coding, and you're thinking this is going to be too easy for you, right? Well, the truth is that we're one of the most advanced programs on algo trading in the world, right? Literally go out there, check it out. We are one of the most advanced programs. We've been around for a long time, and we have built some really, really advanced stuff, right? We've built things that use AI. We've built things that use options trading. We've built all sorts of really complex types of algorithms, and we could teach you how to do that, right? So if you think that, you're a coder and this is going to be too easy for you, think again, because there is a very large depth of knowledge that you can get into from all this stuff. Another belief you might have is that this will be expensive, right? The truth is that it's way more expensive to mess up your investments, right? To blow up your investment account, or even worse, forego all this retirement information, or forego all this money that you're going to have in your retirement, right? Instead of investing in something that probably doesn't make you money, or even worse, loses you money, you can invest in something that actually makes you a lot of money and makes you retire with a lot more cash at the end of the day. If you're using these types of techniques, you're using back testing, you're using risk management properly, you're using some of our best algorithms, you're running this stuff, you're going to be in a lot better position than if you weren't doing that, So, if you think it's expensive, it's a heck of a lot more expensive to screw up your investments. Another belief you might have is that you're new to investing and you want to develop your trading strategy first. I've heard this before. People say, oh yeah, I don't really know how to invest, and I should just first, kind of figure out my own trading strategy, right? The truth is that if you join this program, you're going to get started off on the right foot, right? So instead of going off and trying to build your own stuff or make your own strategies from scratch, we're going to give you a nice heads up, and we'll be able to say, like, this is a bad thing to do, this is a good thing to do. We'll help you get on the right track and make sure that when you get started with your investing, you don't blow up your account or worse, right? So this will really help speed you up to learn faster and help you prevent a lot of mistakes, right? So even if you are new to trading, I think this can be a very, very helpful way for you to get started and get started on the right foot, right? Okay, cool. So that's a couple of those beliefs here. Do you guys want to see the case studies? I've been talking for a little while here. You're going to hear from some of our past students, past and actually existing students as well. Would you like to hear from them? See what these guys thought about this program and everything that I'm talking about here? Okay. So let me show you a couple of these. So first of all, if you want to check out more of them, we have a bunch of them on our website, right? I'm going to show you 2 of them just because we don't have enough time to go through everything. But you can go to our page here, lumiwealth.com/testimonials. I put that into the chat, so you can do that there, right? So feel free to check that out. We have lots and lots of testimonials on there from all over the spectrum. People I've never coded before, people that have coded a lot, all the whole spectrum, and everyone doing all sorts of cool stuff. Check it out on the testimonials page. There's a lot of really cool stuff to check out there. Okay. So let me start off with the first person, right? So Sintayan. So he's been a customer of ours for quite some time now. He's he joined us, I think, like 3 years ago. It's a while ago now, right? He's a programmer, and he turned into an algo trader. He spends a lot of his time algo trading now. Last time I spoke to him, he's making something like 400% a year. He's making really, really good returns. I'd love to know what the heck that algorithm looks like. That's amazing what he's doing, right? And he's also a very active member of the community. Like if you go on our Discord, you could talk to him, ask him questions, whatever, how are you doing, blah, blah, blah. He's a very active member of our community, and we really pride ourselves on building a great community, So let me play this video by Sintayan. I'm going to play you only the first 2 minutes because it's like a 15-minute long video. I don't want to keep you guys here forever. But again, if you want to watch the rest of this video, you want to keep watching this video or the other testimonials, check out that link that I sent you in the chat, lumiwealth.com/testimonials, or even if you go to our webpage, under more, you go to testimonials, you'll be able to see this guy's full testimonial and watch the whole thing, all right? So let me play for you the first 2 minutes, all right?
Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you chose LumiWealth.
So I am a computer science graduate, and I am a software developer currently. I develop automations for my current company that I'm working for. And also I develop full stack applications, web apps and APIs, as well as for my company. What attracted me about LumiWealth was I loved some of their resources available on YouTube, which told me right from the beginning, like what to expect from the classes. And also, I was extremely interested to learn finance and algorithmic trading. I've been trading from a Wall Street veteran like you, Robert. I mean, you have extensive experience in leading teams into this in a particular branch of finance, and I was completely. I really wanted to be a part of that as well. I really love that during the classes we'll be going to perform like 2 live projects, which would give us like real hands-on experience what we would expect in the real financial world. Weekly 1-hour interactions with you and with the fellow students, that is always an added advantage that we have. Unlimited discussions and help that I got during my time, especially in the Discord channel that we had, was tremendously valuable to me. And also the opportunity to book, one-on-one time with you if I get stuck. I mean, that is something that is even more valuable, and that tremendously, attracted me to Looney Wealth. And, you don't get that in other courses or any other. I mean, even if you selected a video course, you wouldn't get all these benefits. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely people love this, the live nature of things. Thank you for that.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So that was Santayan, right? Like I said, he's done some really cool stuff. He's making quite a bit of money on his own doing these things. So he's also a programmer and he's able to build some really cool stuff. Let me show you here another one who's Latoya. And Latoya is someone who has said, she never programmed before. She built that really cool signal trading bot that I was telling you about earlier. She joined us, no idea how to code, and ended up building some really, really cool stuff. She also got a job afterwards as well. So really, really cool stuff from this. So let me play you the testimonial from her. Right.
Hi, my name is Latoya. I took Looney Wealth's live algorithmic trading course, the pre-recorded options trading course, and I'm signed up to take the machine learning and data science course later this month. I'm a pharmacist by training. I have no previous background or experience in coding. As far as finance goes, I was primarily a long-term buy and hold investor until about a year before taking the course, when I began to learn more about options and day trading. I was by no means profitable consistently in my day trades. I found that with my full-time job, there was limited time for me to get enough chart time to get better at trading, since my work hours typically overlapped with market hours for options trading. I started to see advertisements for Looney Wealth, and it was really attractive due to the ability to build algorithms to trade without constant input from me, and to be able to take some of the emotions out of trading, which was really tainting a lot of my trades. I loved the class. I was intimidated by the fact that I did not have any coding experience and was wondering whether or not I would really be able to go from zero knowledge to creating a bot within that 12-week time frame of the course. But Looney Wealth guarantees that you will be able to create a bot, or not only do they refund you, but they pay you something like $600. So I was pretty confident about that. I joined some of the free webinars before I signed up for the courses. And I also joined their free Discord community before signing up and booked a call with them to discuss the courses. So I was really impressed by the knowledge base of the instructors during the free webinars and how responsive everyone was when I asked questions during the call, and in the Discord community, they answer questions very quickly in the Discord channels. The courses also have lifetime access. So when there are updates to the course material or when there are updates to LooneyBot, which is pretty often, you continue to have access.
Okay, cool. So that was from Latoya. As I mentioned again, she joined us, didn't know how to code at all. And by the end of it, she ended up building some really amazing bots. Last I heard, she's making some good money doing that as well. And she got a nice new job as well. So very, very good stuff here from Latoya. All right. Cool. So to recap, who is this for, right? Who is this program for? Basically, it's for people that have never coded in their lives, or also people that are professional programmers. We cover both ends of the spectrum, right? So if you've never coded before, we can help you learn how to code, or even just get you started without any coding at all. Or if you're a professional programmer and you really want to get deep into this stuff, we have a very large depth of knowledge as well. It's also for those of you, if you have $1 million to invest, or if you're just getting started, right? You don't need to have $1 million, right? If you have $1 million, we can help you take that to the next level, right? But we've even had students that started off with $100, with $200, right? You don't need a lot to get started, right? So even if you're just getting started with investing, you only have $100 to your name, you can also get started that way as well, right? So we cover both ends of the spectrum there as well, right? Okay, so are you guys ready to see the full offer? You guys want to see basically everything inside of All Access Plan, everything that you'll get from it? You guys ready to see that? All right. So let's get it kicked off, right? So here's a recap, right? So first of all, you're going to get all these different courses. You're going to get the Algo Trading course, AI course, options course, crypto, blockchain development course, Web3 course. You're going to get our live Algo Hour, which is a huge hit with people lately. You're going to get one-on-one support. You're going to get our brand new trading signals, which are awesome and starting to get some really strong traction, getting some good feedback for that as well. And you're also going to be able to join our weekly study sessions, right? our weekly office hours, right? Which we're starting next week, and you'll be able to join in and actually get a lot of help from there as well. So you get a lot of support, you get all these different classes, and you get lots and lots of support to help you through all this stuff, right? So let's go through them one by one, right? So first of all, you're going to get our algorithmic trading course, which is our flagship course. This thing's been around for a long time. We've put a lot of hours in to make this thing fantastic. It's a 12-week long course that teaches you how to create your own trading algorithms, just like the top hedge funds, right? So we use similar techniques as, the Bridgewaters of the world and that sort of thing. And you'll learn all that stuff in the 12-week long program, going all the way from beginner to being able to build your own algorithms, right? So what you're going to get out of this is you're going to learn how to back test and run your own algorithms live. You're going to learn how to create your own algorithms from scratch, and you'll learn how to modify existing algorithms as well. And then you're going to get over 50 algorithms that we've developed in-house at LumiWealth and by our students. You're going to get access to this big library of 50 different algorithms that you can choose from and use, right? We normally sell this course for $3,000, so about $2,995. And if you want to learn more about it, you can click on this link here, right? And you can learn more about the course if you want to even buy it on its own, right? Okay, so you're going to get the Algo Trading course. You're also going to get our Artificial Intelligence for Trading course. And what this is basically an 8-week long class that teaches you how to build custom AI models to use for your trading. So you'll be able to use artificial intelligence in your trading. It's really freaking cool, right? So in this class, you're going to learn the fundamentals of machine learning and artificial intelligence, how all this stuff works. You're going to learn how to use machine learning and AI to analyze stocks and other similar assets like that. You're also going to learn how to create and use your own large language model. So something like a ChatGPT for financial applications, right? So things like reading the news and trading off the news, doing research on a company using ChatGPT and investing that way. You'll learn how to do all that kind of stuff, right? Okay, so this course we normally sell for $2,995. Again, most of our courses we saw at that price. If you want to buy the course outright, you can go here to this link and you can buy it directly. Or if you want to learn more about it, you could do so there. All right. Hey, so far, as part of this all access plan, what you're going to get is you're going to get these 2 courses, each for $2,995. And that comes out to a grand total so far in value that you're getting is $5,990. Yeah. But you're going to get more than that, right? You're also going to get our options trading course. Okay, now our options trading course, it teaches you how to build options trading algorithms, right? And specifically, you're going to get really deep into how to use data and how to trade these options using software, right? So it's not just like an options course, it's how to actually get really, really good at options, right? It's an 8-week long course that teaches you how to create these trading algorithms using options, right? And what you're going to get out of it is you're going to get the fundamentals of options trading using data. You're going to learn how to back test and trade options algorithms. And you're going to get access to at least 10 algorithms, and we're adding them very quickly, actually. So I think it's probably more than 10 now. 10 options algorithms that we created at LumiWealth and by our students. We have some really, really amazing options algorithms, and you get to get access to all of that code and use whichever one you want. It's really amazing. All right, so the value for this class is about $2,995 again, as with our other classes. If you want to buy it outright, you can check out this link here, or you can learn more about it there as well. All right, so far, how much value are you going to get? You're going to get 3 courses, $2,995 each, so to a grand total of almost $9,000, specifically $8,985 worth of value so far. Okay, but then you're also going to get our crypto algorithm course. Right, so what is this course? It's a class that's 8 weeks long that teaches you how to build trading algorithms that specifically trade crypto coins. There's some specific things to trading crypto. There's a lot of little nuances to it, right? So you're going to learn how to do that with crypto, right? What you're going to get out of it is you're going to learn how to apply algo trading to cryptocurrencies, right? Like how do you actually use algo trading within the crypto space? And you're going to get at least 15 different crypto-specific algorithms that you can use right out of the box, right? So again, you don't even have to build these things. You can just copy them, use them right out of the box, right? Again, this course usually sells for $2,995. That's how much we've been selling it up until today. Actually, we still sell it for that much today. And if you want, you could check it out here. You can learn more about it, or if you want to buy it outright, you could do it there, right? So far, as part of this all access plan, you're getting 4 courses, $2,995 each, for a grand total of $11,980 worth of value. Yeah, but there's more. You're going to get even more out of this. You're also going to get our blockchain development course, right? And our blockchain development course is an 8-week-long course that teaches you how to build decentralized applications, otherwise known as dApps, right? You're going to learn how to do things to like building crypto coins, how to make NFTs. You'll learn how to make lending products and all these other really cool things on the blockchain. You'll be able to build all these different types of things like that using the Solidity programming language. So what you'll get is you'll get the fundamentals of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. You'll learn how all this stuff works, right, from a more technical angle. And then you're also going to learn how to use Solidity, which is the programming language for Ethereum. You're going to learn how to use that to basically build all these really cool crypto projects, right? Again, normally we sell this course for about $3,000, but you're going to get that included as part of this all access plan, right? So when we add it all up together, again, this is 5 courses now for a grand total of $14,975 in total value so far, right? Let me answer a chat here. Sam says, "Gotta go, Rob. I messaged you yesterday. Thanks for class. Awesome. Sounds good, Sam." Cool. Okay, so another thing you're going to get is access to our Web3 development class, right? So what is our Web3 class? Basically, it's an 8-week-long class on how to create your own decentralized websites, things like exchanges, like video games, lending products. People are doing some really, really cool stuff on Web3. There's some very interesting applications they could build with it. And you're going to get an 8-week class learning how to do that. So you're going to learn how to integrate these decentralized applications into websites. You're going to learn how to create interactive websites using React.js. And you're going to learn how to integrate React.js with Solidity projects. So you'll be able to build some really, really cool decentralized apps and some very, very cool crypto-oriented websites, right? So all these courses so far together, there's 7 of them, right? 7 courses, $2,995 each, for a total value of $17,970 so far that you're going to get as part of this all access plan. Okay, but there's more, right? So let me answer a quick question first before that though. So Gordon asks, are you associated with the company Trade Algo? No, I actually don't know what Trade Algo is. Why do you ask, Gordon? I'm actually not familiar with them. Let me know why you asked that question. Maybe we could work with them in some capacity. I don't know. I'm always looking for partnerships. But okay, so far, we add up all this value of all these different courses. It's almost $18,000 that you're going to get in total value. So a lot of value, right? On top of that, you're also going to get more, right? You're also going to get access to our live Algo Hour community and the course, right? So basically, it's a weekly class that you join, and we're making these cutting edge algorithms every week, right? So you could join in and you can ask us to build an algorithm for you, right? So I'm usually the one that does the coding, right? You'll join in and you'll say, hey, I have this really great idea for an algorithm. Can we build it, right? And we'll go ahead and we'll build your algorithm during the class. So you could actually walk off with it and say, first of all, we can back test it, see if it's a good idea. We could tweak it, make it better. And then you'll also be able to use this code to trade it yourself and actually, automate your trading, right? So you'll be able to get a lot out of it there, right? So essentially, what you're going to get is you're going to be able to ask the instructor, which in this case is me teaching this class. You're going to be able to ask me to build an algorithm live for you during the class. You're also going to be able to watch other algorithms get created live. So it's a huge opportunity to learn how to build these top trading strategies. You're going to get all this really good feedback, and you'll see all these really good strategies from it as well. And then you're also going to get, we say 20 algorithms. I think there's almost like 30 algorithms now that you get to use. Copy that code, run it yourself, and make some money doing this stuff already. Yeah. We usually charge $249 per month for that, but that's also going to be included as part of this all access plan, right? So when we add it all up here, we end up having a total value of almost $18,000 and $250 per month, right? But there's more. You're also going to get a lot of one-on-one support, right? So if you ever need help with anything, you're going to be able to get on a call with me or any one of our other staff, and we'll be able to help you actually fix things, or if you're stuck anywhere, whatever you need help with, we'll be able to do that for you. Now, normally we charge $200 an hour for our services. So that's in total about $400 a month worth of value that you're going to get part of this all access plan, right? So in other words, you're going to get $17,000, almost $18,000 worth of value, plus $650 a month worth of value in this plan. Yeah. Then you're also going to get these two new features that we just created, right? So one of them is our trading signals, right? So basically, you're going to be able to follow our top algorithms minute by minute, seeing how they're doing. You're going to get all these updates, like how is this thing trading? How is this thing making money? Whatever, right? And you'll be able to see, you know, how are these algorithms doing day by day? You'll be able to also see these notifications, kind of like this on your phone. When it bought something or it sold something, right? You're going to get those notifications there. And it kind of looks like this, right? Here's, you know, an iPhone app with all these updates on each one of our algorithms. These are real algorithms and how they're performing. I took these screenshots like 3 days ago. This is literally how the algorithms are doing. You're going to get these notifications in your phone like this when they buy and sell something, so you can copy them if you want to. You're going to get support, right? So if you need help with these trading signals, we have our own support for that. And then you're also going to get access to all of these new algorithms that we're building. As we build newer and newer algorithms in this innovation lab that we have on Tuesday, you're going to get access to those trading signals as well. So you're going to get all of our cutting edge stuff. You're going to get all these really brand new things on how to make money and how to, you know, how to be able to copy our algorithms and all that sort of thing, right? So some really cool stuff in the trading signals, right? So this, we normally charge $39 a month. I think we're going to raise our prices actually on this pretty soon. I think we're going to start charging $60 a month, so like $59 a month. We're going to start charging soon. But as of right now, $39 a month, which brings a grand total of everything that you're going to get in this all access plan to $17,970 plus $688 a month is what you would have to pay outside of this all access plan if you want to buy this stuff separately. Okay. But there's one more thing. You're also going to get one more thing as far as plan. You're also going to get our weekly office hours or study sessions. And basically that's every week, 2-hour study session. We sit down. If you're stuck with anything, we can share computer screens, can actually write code for you. If you're building a bot, we can actually help you with that, build some code for you on that bot, edit things, fix whatever the heck you need help with. 2 hours a week, every week, you're going to be able to join in and get the help, right? You'll also be able to watch other people get help if you care to see that. Maybe you get some ideas from it as well. Either way, normally this would cost about, you know, $200 an hour. Again, is what we usually charge, right? So usually it'd be about $400 a month, but you're going to get that included as part of this all access plan. So in total, after everything, all of these features, you get all these different classes, you get the live algo hour, you get one-on-one calls, you get our trading signals, you get our weekly office hours, you get all this stuff. It's crazy. This is really an action-packed plan. You get so much stuff with our all access plan. In total, if you bought this separately, you would have to pay $17,970 upfront, right? Plus, you'd have to pay another $1,088 per month to get these things separately. But you're going to get all of that as part of our all access plan. All right. So I want you to think, you know, what are we actually charging you for this, right? Because we're definitely not charging you that much. I'll tell you that. We're not going to charge you $18,000. We're not going to charge you $1,000 a month, right? This combined thing, right? But you're getting that kind of value. You're getting a lot of value from this. So I want you to think, you know, how much do you think this thing costs, right? Okay, but before we get to that, I promised you a coupon code, okay? For those of you that stuck around to the end, do you guys want your coupon code? Okay, cool. So let me show you a coupon code. So I have 2 coupon codes for you today, actually, right? So I have one coupon code here that we normally do whenever we do this sort of presentation. It's for 20% off. And this thing is active until tomorrow at midnight, right? You could use this code until tomorrow at midnight, okay? Or you can save save 33%, right? Because of Black Friday. We have a Black Friday deal going on right now, which ends tonight. Okay. If you guys want to save 33% on these courses, which is a lot, you save, it's a third, it's a huge cost savings. If you guys want to save 33%, you have to use this coupon code and purchase by tonight. Okay. And I mean, this thing shuts down, I believe in 2 or 3 hours, we're shutting this thing down. So if you want to save yourself 33%, you can use this coupon code. If you want to wait a little bit, whatever, then you can use this other coupon code for 20% off, right? This is very unique. We don't usually do this, right? But it is Black Friday. And this is a coupon code that's available for a few more hours. So if you sign up in the next few hours, you're going to save 33% on all this stuff. So a huge cost savings there, right? And you just have to, when you go through checkout, you basically put in this coupon code at checkout and you'll be able to save that 33%. And then Gordon wrote to me, we offer trading alerts based on dog pool volume and other financial advice. They're quoting me for investment pre-IPO. Yeah, Gordon, that sounds interesting. I would be a little wary of, again, a lot of these places that are like trying to take your money. I would check up on them and make sure that they're like registered with SEC and things like that before you send anyone your money, because you know there's a lot of scammers out there. So I'd definitely think that through a little bit. Make sure that they're a legit company. But yeah, maybe they do some cool stuff. You know, let me know. Send me a message about this. I'd actually like to research them a little bit as well. I'm always interested in like new investment products. So shoot me a message. I'd love to talk about it with you, Gordon, if you want. Okay, cool. So so I gave you the coupon codes. I showed you how much this thing cost, or what the value you're going to get, right? So you're going to get this almost $18,000 value in terms of courses. If you had to buy them separately, they'd be over almost $18,000. And if you bought them separately, you'd be paying like almost $1,100 a month. So what do you think this costs, right? What do you think is the cost of this program, right? Yeah, Theater says a lot of scams. Yeah, there's a lot of scammers out there. Definitely agree with you on that. I'd be very careful with all these things. That's why we don't take your money. I don't do that kind of stuff. We eventually want to like run our own like ETF and things like that. But that's like, you know, you register with the SEC, you do everything properly, right? It's like a whole different thing. Okay, so how much do you guys think this costs, right? I talked about, you know, it's $18,000 worth of value. Plus, if you had to pay for this separately, it's $1,100 a month almost. So what do you think this is going to actually cost? Okay, so let me show you. So here is our all access plan. You're going to get access to all those things I showed you. All those courses, our live algo hour, our one-on-one support, our trading signals, our Wednesday classes. You're going to get all these algorithms that you can use right off the box. You can copy and paste our code and run it yourself. You can do all of that for only $5.99 per month. Okay. And that's, you don't have to stay on for a long period of time. If you want to do it for 1 month, you hate it, you can leave, right? But if you like what you're doing, and a lot of people do stick around for a while because they love what they're getting out of it, you can stick around for a lot longer as well. So it's not like you're forced to stick around for any period of time, right? It's $5.99 a month, but then keep in mind also, you can get that extra 20% off from that coupon code that I gave you. Or if you sign up tonight, if you sign up before midnight, so basically the next like 2 hours, right, then you're going to be able to use this Turkey Day, Black Friday coupon code BFSNC. And let me share that in the chat so you guys have this for 33% off, right? So if you guys want to, save a bunch of money with it, that is the coupon code that you want to use by tonight. Hey, so $5.99 minus 33%, was that like $400 a month? You're getting $18,000 worth of value for $400 a month. It's incredible, right? Really, really good deal here, especially during Black Friday. And actually here's let me give you the link to this, and I'll show you basically how you can go about doing this. So let me show you the actual web page. If you go into here, this is our all access plan web page, right? And it basically shows you, you know, everything that I talked about here, all the things that it includes, right? All the different things it does, the algo trading class, the artificial intelligence class, options trading, We have these are two new products. We haven't even added them in here yet. The trading signals and the office hours, right? Those two things aren't even added in here yet. So you get even more than what's on this page. You get like a huge amount of value. It's crazy. It's amazing. Like we're really ramping up this program. We really want to make this thing the best program on earth for this stuff. So if you want to go and do that, you can come down here to this page, lumiwealth.com/all-access-plan. And you can click this button right here, add to cart, use that coupon code that I sent you for that 33% off. And you can do that right now for $5.99 a month, right? Or let's say you want to save even more money. Okay. If you do the math, you go 12 times $5.99. That ends up being what? $5.99 times 12 times $5.99. That ends up being around $7,188 if you want to do it for the whole year, right? But if you pay for the year in advance, then you're going to save even more money. You're going to save 31% on the entire price of the thing. So it's only going to be $44,995 for the entire year instead of, you know, the $7,188 that you would have to pay if you paid it monthly, right? So you get all of that up front, right? And then on top of that, you could also use those coupon codes as well. You can get the 20% off coupon code, or you could use that Turkey Day, the Black Friday deal that I sent to you to get 33% off. So you could really save a heck of a lot of money buying this thing as the annual plan, right? Okay, cool. So so to kind of wrap it up here. So if you had to do this on your own, what would you have to do if you had to do this on your own? Essentially, you'd have to spend at least 500 hours learning how to create algorithms. It took quite a long time for me to learn how to do it. A lot of people that have tried to learn this on their own, I've spoken to a lot of people like this. It takes a lot of time and effort to learn how to build your own algorithms, not to mention all the mistakes and stuff you might make along the way. And then also, if you want to make these algorithms yourself, you know, usually an algorithm takes, you'll hire someone like $150 an hour. It's like a pretty expensive programmer usually to hire to do this. Someone actually knows what the heck they're doing. That's not just like someone from Pakistan that like has never traded in their lives before, right? An actual like good person that can do this is $150 an hour. Usually it's like 20 hours to make an algorithm, give or take. It depends on how complicated they are. So on average, you're going to be paying like $3,000 to make an algorithm, right? If you want to get someone else to build that for you. And that's assuming that this is a good strategy and assuming that this person doesn't suck and is actually able to make this algorithm, okay? So it's $3,000 per algorithm if you want to get someone else to build it, right? We ourselves have over 50 algorithms they could use. I think it's actually closer to 100 algorithms now they can use. So in other words, it's something like $150,000 in total algorithms that you can get from us directly. You don't have to pay someone else to do it. You can literally just take our code and run it. You don't have to worry about, is this guy going to be able to do it properly? Is my algorithm a good idea or not? You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. You don't have to pay $3,000 an algorithm. You don't even have to pay anywhere near $3,000. You could get an entire year's worth of membership and get all of our algorithms, all 50 to 100 of our algorithms, use all those, get all of our support and everything for less than you would pay right now to get one algorithm built for you on Upwork or something like that. So you're getting one heck of a deal, right? So let's think about that for a second, all right? We also do have a guarantee. If you're not happy with the program for whatever reason, I don't care. You don't have to give me a reason. You just say, I didn't like it, or just, I don't feel like it, or whatever. I don't need any good reason. Whatever reason you tell me, we'll refund you. No questions asked within 30 days, right? So even if you do make this purchase, you go through it, you're like, I hate this thing, we'll give you your money back. That like never happens to us. Like people love our program, they join and they're so excited when they get their first trades going. It's like the coolest thing in the world. I live for that. Like it's one of my favorite things is helping people get their first algorithm up and running and seeing their eyes light up when this thing's like actually trading on their own. Like that's really freaking cool. I live off of that, right? But if for whatever reason you want your money back, we'll give you your money back. So don't worry about that. That's not going to be an issue with us, right? Okay, cool. So let's get the clock started. So this coupon code here for 20% off, you're going to have 24 hours to use that one. This coupon code for 20% off is going to expire at midnight tomorrow, midnight Eastern time tomorrow. So you have a little bit longer than 24 hours. Or if you really want to save a lot of money, right? Black Friday is 33% off. But this one expires by tonight. All right. So if you really want to save a lot of money, sign up tonight, right? In the next, I think we're taking it down at midnight or 1 a.m. Eastern time. So it's like in 2-3 hours. So if you want to save a bunch of money, use this coupon code BFSNC. Use that coupon code and I'll save you this 33% off on all of our plans, right? So if you're signing up for our annual plan, you're going to get one heck of a deal. You're going to be able to get 50 plus algorithms, all the support, all these classes, trading signals, everything. You're going to get all of that for less than the price of making one algorithm, hiring a programmer to make one algorithm. You're going to get all of that for cheaper than that. It's amazing, right? Okay, cool. So you guys have some questions here. So let's start taking some questions. I'm going to leave this up here. I'm going to share with you again the link to the class. So if you want to make this purchase, here's the link. Again, I'll throw it in here. Right, and let me go through some of your questions. So Adrian asks, do you know if this is tax deductible? That is a very good question. We are not an accredited institution, so I don't know if you have to be accredited to take it off your taxes. I'm not a tax accountant, so I'm not sure. You might be able to, because a lot of education is tax deductible, right? So I'm not sure how that applies to us. We're not accredited, so maybe not. I think it's a question for a tax account. I don't know if there's a tax account here somewhere that can maybe let us know. Gordon asks, so is there a startup fee plus a monthly fee? No, it's just the monthly fee alone. There's no startup fee, just the monthly fee. You could pay month by month, or you could pay the entire year in advance, right? Great question, Gordon. Thank you. Tony says, would it be possible to drop some of this stuff I don't want and make it even more affordable? You have a lot to offer, but some of it I don't even want to get involved with. Well, we have other plans. If you go on our homepage, we have a starter plan and we have a pro plan as well. So maybe those are a little bit more affordable for you. If you're not looking to get all the stuff, you could check those out on our webpage as well. Right. So just go to illumiwealth.com, scroll down to the bottom. I think our starter plan is at like $40 a month right now. All you get with that is like our workshop and our trading signals. If you join our pro plan, you get access to that Tuesday class and you'll be part of that innovation lab, which is really cool. You get access to workshops. That's like $250 a month. And then this one here is $599 a month, and you get everything. You get the whole shebang, all of our classes, tons of support and all that kind of stuff. So if cost is an issue, we do have other plans as well. All right. Gil says no mention of the pro plan. Is that minus the classes? Yeah, essentially that's what it is. The pro plan is basically everything I described to you today minus all of these classes, right? So if you subtract all of those classes, these bottom things here, actually without the weekly office hours, this is the pro plan. Actually, this and this. And I didn't mention here, there's actually even more stuff in this. It's crazy how many things come in this plan. There's a ton of stuff. You also get access to our workshop as well, right? You get access to our workshop and our Python for Finance course as part of the pro plan as well, right? And if you're asking about the coupon, the same coupon works for the pro plan too. So this BFSNC, that will also work for a pro plan, right? So yeah, so if cost is an issue, you can sign up to that too. It's a great question. Thanks for asking, guys. Yeah, so both Tony and Gil, you guys were both asking about that. That's essentially what it is. It's basically, the pro plan is the well, excuse me. Oh, I don't know where that came from.
Bless you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. I don't know where that came from all of a sudden. But yeah, so pro plan is basically the all access plan minus all the classes and minus a lot of this like one-on-one support and all that kind of stuff, right? So you're a little bit more on your own when you're taking the pro plan and you don't get all these courses, right? But you do get access to a pretty large library of our code. You do get to be part of our Tuesday classes. You do get to be part of our community. You do get to have access to our workshop. So there's a lot of stuff that you get with the pro plan too. And there's also, again, if you want to do the whole annual plan, you also save doing the annual plan with pro plan if you want to do that too. So Brian says, how do you get access to link for the Tuesday and Wednesday classes? Brian, I think you already joined our Tuesday class. It is the same link as last week, right? So it's the exact same link every single week. So I think you already have access to that, if I remember correctly. If you don't, please let me know, and I'll make sure to send that to you. And then for the Wednesday class, we haven't started doing that yet. We're planning to start doing it next week. All right. So we haven't sent that out yet. So we will get that out soon. Right. That's another new thing that we're doing. Right. It's like another new feature. Adrian asks, are the courses on a schedule or is that your own pace? It's at your own pace, Adrian. So they're pre-recorded classes. You can watch them at whatever pace you want to watch. Right. And then you get all this extra live support, right? So you get to join the office hours and you get to have support during that. You get to have that one-on-one support. You get to be part of our Tuesday classes, right? So you get all this live support and then you can watch the recordings at whatever pace you want, whatever pace makes the most sense for you, right? It's a great question, Adrian. So great questions, guys. All right. Any other questions? Let me know. You guys can even turn on your mics too if you want, right? Don't feel like you have to type this out. No. All right, cool. So I'm going to share this with you again here. This is the link to our all access plan. Check that out. It's right there. If you want to save 33% off on our Black Friday deal, 33% off. There it is. Oh, 33%, not 33.5. 33% off. That applies to all of our plans, right? So if you want to use on our all access plan or pro plan or whatever, you can use that coupon code, right? But it does expire at midnight, right? So if you guys want to get on that, you have like 2 hours before this thing expires. So make sure that you use it soon. Okay, cool. Adrian, that sounds great. You're considering this. Let me know. By the way, if you have any more questions, you could always book a call with one of our staff. If you have any more questions, Adrian, or for that matter, anyone else, go to our website under more. There is book a call, right? Go more, book a call, and you could speak to one of our staff and you can get any other questions that you have or any other doubts or whatever. You can go through and we can talk to you about that. And you know, whatever it is that you still have on your mind, you can get through on that book a call, right? So again, go to a website, more, book a call, and it's going to look something like this. You get to like pick from the calendar, right? You get to pick a time on the calendar here. Why is this not showing up? Still loading. There it is, right? And you get to, you know, pick a time. So tomorrow, for example, you could pick 8 a.m., 9 a.m., right? Wednesday, you can pick some times, right? So, so if you have any questions, you can do that, right? Okay, cool. Tony asks, where can I cut my bot loose to analyze the markets on my trading platform? Where can I cut my bot loose to analyze the markets? I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, Tony. But basically, we teach you how to run it either off your computer, which you can do that. I personally don't like running off my computer because so I have a laptop and I move it around and I don't like doing that. But if you want, you could do that, run it off your computer, or you can run it in the cloud, and we'll show you how to do it in the cloud. There's a service that we use quite heavily called Replit, right? And you can actually use Replit to run a lot of your algorithms in the cloud, right? So that's one that we use quite extensively. Brian asks, what if you don't need any other combination? Yeah, Gordon, it's either you get all the courses or you buy them separately, right? So, you know, we made this plan, the all access plan, we just included all of them together, right? It makes more sense to do it that way. If you want just one course, you could buy it one off. Honestly, I don't think it'll be really worth it. You know, like I said, you add up all those courses, like $18,000 worth of value. So if you're taking, you know, even one course doesn't make sense if you think about it, because we saw courses for $3,000 a pop. Instead, you can get it for $599 a month. I mean, like it makes a lot more sense just to get the all access plan. So yeah, I mean, you could buy them separately, but I think it makes more sense to do the plan. Cool. Brian says, oh, cool, awesome. I'm not sure what you're referring to there, Brian, but awesome. Glad you think it's cool. Tony says, oh, okay, to Replit. Awesome. Yeah, Replit's awesome. I don't know if you've gone through that yet, Brian. Check out the workshop. Like if you go under my account, courses and recordings, right at the very top, there's a workshop, your first algo workshop. If you check that out, this is kind of the best way to get started running your own algorithm, right? We'll show you how to run an algorithm in the cloud on Replit, and it'll be running for you 24/7, right? This is again included as part of the all access plan, right? So you can watch this class, you get all the code, right? And you'll be able to actually use this thing to trade your algorithms, right? It's a lot better running it in the cloud, right? Because then, if your power goes out or if you don't have fast internet or whatever, it just runs way better in the cloud. It's like $7 a month and you just let them deal with it, right? And that way you can have your stuff running in the cloud. It's a lot better that way, right? Okay. Where was it located again? It's under course recordings and toolkits, right? So my account is where you'll find all this stuff, right? My account, course recordings and toolkits. Waiting for a single load. My account, course recordings and toolkits, right? And then it's this one right here. It's called the workshop, right? So your first algo workshop. All right, got it, perfect. Awesome, no problem. Let me know how it goes. And if you have any questions, Brian, I can help you out with all that stuff too. Right. I'll do perfect. All right, any other questions, guys? Cool, all right. Well, it's been a pleasure. Honestly, you guys have been a fantastic group. You guys have had great questions. I see a very bright future for a lot of you guys with your trading and investing. I hope you guys get lots and lots of money and get very successful with all these things. And if I see you in our classes, let me know and we can get you on a kickoff call and get you guys all set up and start running these things and start hopefully making some very good money running these algorithms. Right. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Gil. All right. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you, Robert. Talk tomorrow.
Talk to you tomorrow, Theodore. Have a good one. Bye.
Bless.